I'm your host, Joseph Decker. 2 shows in 4 days. We're back in action today, man, and I'm ready to get today's show going. It's been a pretty productive last few days. 3 straight days of the WKU team camp. Get to see some of the best talent in the state of Kentucky. A few teams come down from Indiana, Memphis, and it's just a really all-around great event. I really want to shout out teams like Bell County, LaRue County, Henderson, West Jessamine, some teams that going into it I didn't expect to kind of dominate, make those deep runs in the tournament, but they were some teams that really stood out and impressed me. But it was a good event, all around. Hank Plona, Martin Cross, Coach Jackson, Coach Murphy, the managers, students, everybody made the event great. They made it special, and I'm just really appreciative for all that they did. We got a loaded show today, man, though. We got to start off talking about our first guest today. 4-star top 100 player in the country, Jaron Saulsberry, 6'6" guard out of Norcross, Georgia. First time I got to see Jaron was at the Marshall County Hoop Fest. Georgia and his team came up to play in Kentucky. He was an instant eye catcher. Everybody kind of watched him in the gym. Everybody was all eyes on him, watching him play. He was impressive, had a great shot, got to the rim, attacked, just an all-around great player. Reached out to him a few days ago on Next Up, said, yo, man, got to get you on the show. Let's get you on here. Been having more high major offers and things come his way. Just recently offered from Boston College. Seen some pictures from a visit at Ole Miss. So he's been busy. He actually just got off the plane, he told me, and they're in the call right now. So I'm not going to try to hold him too long today. Then we'll be joined by our guys at Kentucky Ambition, some of my absolute favorite guests to have on, Coach Otis and Chief Cameron. Chief has been very productive the last 2 days at camps. WKU camp, he was great in the single day they were there. And I talked to Coach McCann. I talked to the guys. He said he was great at Xavier camp. He continues to get better. He's a name that's on a lot of people's kind of watch lists and targets now. I really enjoyed watching him play last year. Then he got to play on the Made Hoops circuit. Then, they'll be starting up actually in July again. And he really gets to show a lot more than his game. To Louisville, he's a 3-and-D maestro type guy. But in the AAU scene, he's taking kids off the dribble. He's cross, pulling threes. He's showing his whole game. I know he's going to do that with St. X this year. I've seen him take it in on bigger defenders multiple times, finishing. He's just a great player. College coaches, man, if you've not offered Chief Cameron, you're missing out. The kid's a stud. Great kid to talk to off the court. And, his ceiling, he's not even at his peak yet. A lot of kids kind of peak toward their senior year in high school. They stay that good. His best basketball still ahead of him. And then finally, our last guest is Linkin Lockhart, one of my guys, man, from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Lincoln has really embodied the hard work ethic. He has really embodied what it means to keep going, keep pushing. Don't settle for your first school. Keep working, keep moving up. Started at the JUCO level with Shawnee, moved up. Now he's one of the top scorers in NIA with Brusha. He was dominant the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Multiple 20-point performances. I know he started the year off, I think, in a scrimmage with 30 points. So he's a lethal scorer. He's an elite player, man. And I'm excited for what him and Coach Karn have special cooked up this year at Brusha. I think it's going to be a really, really, really good year. And I'm excited to watch what they have in store and be a part of. And I'm really excited to talk to Link today and get everything worked out with him. I'm going to share the posts and going to share the show onto a few graphics real quick so everybody can tune on and check in. Give me about 30, 45 seconds and we'll have this shared to everything. Once again, I want to thank everybody tuning into the show early, sharing this on Next Up, sharing it to our groups on Facebook. Then we're good to go, man. But like I said, appreciate everybody tuning in here early. Let's talk about our sponsors. We're adding a new sponsor in the following days, the Goins family from Litchfield. It'll be a trucking podcast, a little cool thing to kind of combine us both. But if you'd be interested in it, sponsoring the podcast and joining the group, we do really cheap prices. And we like to promote the hell out of our sponsors and really get them out there to as many people as possible. Let's talk about our first one, Pelican Snowballs. I know they're tuning in today. That's Salem Lockhart, the Lockhart family. I always say it's hard to find a better sweet treat in the 4th region area, especially in Bowling Green, than them at Pelican Snowballs. They're great to do business with. They travel. They love to help out. They do a lot of work at Cowrock Elementary School in Edmonson County, Kentucky. So they're always working. They're always on the run. And it's great content. It's great quality. And I really love going there when I get the chance to. Stice Insurance Agent. That's Ryan Stice, good friend of mine. Got to meet him recently. We talked at a conference together. He's a really good guy. He's a really good person. He does insurance in the 4th, 3rd region areas, Brownsville, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Real hard worker, real good guy. Big fan of what he does, man. And I really appreciate him sponsoring the show. sharing this real quick to our last thing, and then we'll be good to go. Last up, I want to shout out Chris Grable, who sponsors with two businesses, United Country Real Estate and then Heartland Realty and Auction LLC. That's the Auction LLC who sponsors the show, and then the United Country. So I'm really big on those guys. Thank you for sponsoring Chris Grable. Great family. Had his kid on the podcast. He's a super good guy. Wyatt Grable, the Grable and Bass family have been longtime supporters. They're great people. I really appreciate them for doing what they do. Grable Funeral Home is the best funeral home in the area, especially in the 3rd, 4th region surrounding areas, located in Brownsville, Kentucky. Roy Grable's a big-time sports fan, but even more importantly, he's a great human being in person. He works, supports, and helps everybody. His prices are unbeatable and all around. You don't want somebody else kind of handling that situation better than him. He's been in it so long. And he's just a great person. And then last but certainly not least is our sponsor of the day, our show sponsor, Clark Agritech Applicators, Cooper Clark, young entrepreneur, kind of advancing agritech at its own level. You know, he's really working and grinding at a young age, and he's killing it. Cooper's one of my good friends off the show, so I'm excited to have him. Then the guy behind the scenes making everything possible, Ronald Scott Lindsay, Judge Executive in Emmons County, Kentucky. But let's go ahead and get into the show, man. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk. I want to welcome on our first guest today. That is the man, Jaron Saulsberry. Had to get him on the show. Had to get everything rolling with him. He's a super great guy. Enjoy watching him play, and I'm glad we got it set up. Jaron, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a while since I've seen you play. I say that, but it's actually just been a month ago at the Memphis EYBL circuit. That was the first time I got to see you since Marshall County Hoop Fest, and I can tell your game's grown even more. You've continued working, and you're on the road right now, Jaron. What have you been up to, though, man? You've been busy, it seems.
Man, just been working, just been hooping, man.
I know you're a hard worker. The work ethic is on another level, man. You know, I got to talk to your dad a little bit. He said you guys are in the gym 2-3 hours a day most of the time. Kind of tell me about that work ethic. Where does it come from? Does your family kind of have that ethic built in them, or is it just kind of something that you were like, man, I want to be better than everybody, so let me live in this gym?
Yeah, I just love to work. I just know it's other people out there working just as hard as me, but I'm just trying to put as much work as I can because I know the hours are going to build up and it's going to show.
Well, Jaron, you know, we kind of got to talk about your recruiting process a little bit. You know, man, you know, it's really starting to heat up with EYBL coming back into full swing, playing in front of more and more coaches with Jet Academy.
Right.
You hold multiple high major offers. You recently picked up an offer from Boston College, but you hold other ones: Ole Miss, Virginia Tech, SMU, LSU, Texas Tech. You know, the list goes on and on, man. Kind of tell me about some of the offers you have, and what do you look at in a school? Because you know that decision's not too far away from you. What's some things that you really like about schools and what you looked at during your recruiting process?
I really want to go to a school that's like that let me play my game, and that just feels like home. You know, there's like, you know, the coaches will say stuff to make you want to commit, but till you get there, things will be a little different. So I just want to go to a school where I really have the good bonds with the coaches and they'll let me play.
You know, I got to talk about some of your recent visits, man. I seen some pictures. I think you were at Ole Miss. Kind of tell me about some of the visits you've been on, and you know, what do you love the most about visits? Because some of the guys like putting on the jerseys and taking the pictures. Some of the guys like touring the campus. What's Jaron's favorite part of his visits?
So far I only been to one visit. I'm planning to go on more this year, but the Ole Miss visit, it was pretty good, especially just going to the just seeing the campus and the football game, everything. It was live, like it was pretty good, and it was nice meeting the coaches, the head coaches. The head coach, everything. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Well, Chris Beard is a fun coach to watch. He always got Ole Miss, you know, kind of on the radar. They're coming off a good year, so I'm sure it was a great experience, man. You know, kind of introduce yourself a little bit, Jaron, to the people that might not know who Jaron Saulsberry is. Kind of tell us about your journey so far, and tell us a little bit about Norcross, Georgia.
Oh yeah, so I'm Jaron Saulsberry. I attend Norcross High School. I've been there for 3 years so far. I'm class of 2026. Like my game is more of a, you know, a slashing type, defensive type of game, and my shot is improving too. So I'm trying to be like a 3-level scorer, also.
Well, Jaron, it definitely does continue to grow, and that's something I'm a real big fan of yours. You know, we talked about the recruiting process, things like that, but with AAU full swing, you've been able to play more and more. You're with Jet Academy right now. You're averaging 10.5 points, but making a lot more impacts than just scoring, man. And that's something I really like about your game. How has the AAU season been so far? How have you been enjoying it, and how are you kind of excited to get it picked back up here in about July?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, I just recently joined Jet Academy, so I wasn't starting, and I earned my starting spot by showing what I can do when I get out there, and just hoping everything go up like the averages, just everything, and the AAU it's been going really good for me, man. I just been getting a lot of interest in recruitment, so I'm just looking forward for the journey and back in July when Peace Jam starts.
Well, Peace Jam's going to be big time, man. And, all the
Right.
scouts, all the coaches are going to be in the building. I talked to a lot of players, and, there really are some guys out there who do get a little nervous. They get a little anxiety
Yeah.
whenever it comes to those moments. How do you handle it, man? Do you enjoy playing in front of the Memphis EYBL? I think there was probably 150 coaches at some
Yeah,
games.
it was a
How do
lot.
you enjoy that? How does Jaron Saulsberry feel about,
I
the
I really don't really too much just think about like who's there. I just go out there and play, and I keep everything in God's hands. So every game, I say a prayer before the game, and just leave it in God's hands. So what happens happens on the court.
You mentioned, God and praying and, your religion, how
Hmm.
big of a factor has that been for you? And kind of, is it always, continuous prayers before
Hmm.
games, after games? How is that kind of, and how big of a deal is that for you? Is that kind of maybe your biggest factor in life?
Yeah, just because I grew up from a God driven family, so
Mhm.
it's been with me my whole life, and just saying a prayer before the game really makes me have more confidence to go out there and just play my game.
For sure. I got to talk to your dad, Bernard, a few seconds, man, in a few minutes
Hmm.
recently. He's a great guy, man. I really
Yeah.
loved him hitting on, man, we're in the gym all the time. I love that. But you kind of mentioned having a good supporting cast and family around you.
Yeah.
How big and beneficial has that been to you? And do you come from an athletic family? Was your dad
Yeah.
a
So
hooper? Do you have any siblings? Kind of tell me about that.
yeah, so my whole family has played basketball. My dad, he went to Texas Tech, and
Okay.
I have a big brother who's just recently at New Mexico State, and I have a little sister who played basketball too. So just my mom played basketball too. So it just I just come from a basketball family, and the support it really helps because I feel like without support I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and just don't have my back. It really makes me just want to make it.
Well, Jerron, there's probably no videos or clips out there, but I have to ask, man, I'm sure with the family, history, there's got to be some 1v1s and some intense games. How does it go when Jerron goes up against dad, Bernard, or maybe the brother?
It's so competitive. We just recently left the gym like yesterday and the day before. It was I got some couple clubs, but it was very competitive. We just talk smack the whole time and just have fun with it though. We honestly get better by playing 1-on-1 against each other. And my dad, he's 50 years old, but he still moves like he's young, man. So it'd be fun just going against him every day.
Well, I can assume that if he gets a stop or if he gets a big time possession, he's definitely letting you hear about it. So I'm
Oh
sure that's
yeah,
fun
for
about it
sure.
too. Jerron, you're going into your last
Oh
season
yeah.
with Norcross, senior four, senior season. Tell me about the team a
Hmm.
little bit. Are you guys going to be, state competitive? Are you guys going to be contenders and, kind of fighting for that
Hmm.
championship in Georgia? Kind of tell me about the team.
Right. So the team, the last year's team, basically, we was everybody was new. So I feel like we've been through a lot of adversity, especially with losing three players through the season. So but just a lot of young cats that's on the team, and I feel like we all built the bond pretty good. So uh, hold on. But yeah, I feel like we built a good bond to where they, uh, um, I just hope we can take it far this year.
For sure. Jerron, I really appreciate you coming on the show today, man. I don't want to hold you too much longer. I know you're super busy. I hope to get you on here again soon, man. And I hope to watch you again
Mhm.
soon, of course. Keep it
Right.
up, man. And kind of leave something off, man, for the Jaron Saulsberry fans and the Norcross fans tuning in.
Got you.
I appreciate you tuning in, Jerron. We'll talk again soon.
Yep. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Big thanks to Jaron Saulsberry for hopping on the show tonight, man. That's the guy. He's a killer. I've got to see him play multiple times. He keeps getting better with every single time. He's a busy man. Being from the Atlanta area in Georgia, he's always busy. Hooping. He's got a basketball family he comes from, so he's always on the move. But I really appreciate him making some time coming on today. He's a top 100 kid in the country, 4-star. High major offers from everywhere, man. I know Ole Miss is really kind of putting the recruiting on him with visits, watching him play, etc. But really drawing coming on the show tonight. We kind of go back to our roots, man. We come back to Kentucky to talk about some talent we have here. We're going to be talking about one of the top players in the state of Kentucky, the man, Chief Cameron. And then we got to get, I think this makes it appearance number 5 or 6. This is a crazy big time deal. Coach Otis from Kentucky Ambition and Butler joins the show again. Coach Otis, what's up, man? And then let's get Chief back on here too. Let's make this look a little better. Coach Otis, man, what's up, man? How have you been? And how has Kentucky Ambition been for those that's maybe not got to tune in and see you guys so far on the Made Hoop circuit?
I've been good, man, and we've been playing good. Been playing some solid basketball. Competing against the top EYBL teams. We've been competing against. We done played EYBL, UAAs, to where if you see the Ambition guys playing high school ball right now, you can tell the level of competition they've been playing against in the spring ain't the same with the high school. That's why all the guys are dominating right now. And it's just
Oh,
summer
for sure.
ball.
We're not even in the season yet, and that's when you really kind of get to see, all the work this team's been putting on. Tell me about the roster, man, because we've had a lot of Kentucky Ambition guys on the show before. I know the guy below us, Chief Cameron. He's a new addition. He wasn't on this team last year, but he's already kind of been one of the stars. He's getting his name out there. He's been killing it. Had 19 points against one of the top teams on the whole circuit. Kind of tell me what Chief brings to the table, and tell me about some of the guys on the roster as well.
Chief brings a different dynamic to the table because he can either, now that he's done develop a jump shot, he can either take you off the dribble, pull up shoot a three. He's energy guy. He wants to guard 94 feet no matter who you are, where we're playing at, who we playing against, it don't matter. And it just brings, we already had a lot of real good guys to the team. It just brings the level of play of everybody up. And then you got Tremaine Washington, TJ. He's shooting the ball at a high level right now. Of course, Santana. We added Sean McGee, a nice wing. He's playing at a high level right now. Bryce. Bryce is trimming up, getting himself ready for high school ball, shooting the ball real good. And who else we got? We got Corn. He goes to Mel.
Yeah.
He's playing real good ball right now. We got a guy from Ohio, Eli. Nobody really knows about. So we're 6'4" point guards. He's playing some real good ball. Who am I leaving out, Chief?
That's all. That's all.
And of course, one of the biggest things we got Mr. Brandon Heath coming back.
Sean.
No, I done said Sean. I got Sean.
Okay.
And we got Brandon Heath coming back, and we also added Noah Stevens to the roster too.
Okay. Well, it seems like the roster's on fire right now, Coach. Chief, I can't sit here and ask any more questions and not get you involved, man. Recently your name has been on fire, bro. You've been one of the most rising names recently in the state of Kentucky. You've really been putting on at the next level and putting on in the AAU scene. Chief, a lot of people in Louisville kind of viewed you as a 3-and-D guard who made some electric plays, but man, you're showing your ability to play the point guard, lead an offense, be an offensive player, scoring 20 consistently at times, dominating the team camps and really putting on in front of college coaches. How have you handled that? And how does it feel to be able to kind of show more of your game and not just be kind of a 3-and-D player that some people have seen you as?
It feels good because I can show what I can really do, and things like that. I can get my teammates involved really, really fast. Get to the paint, dish it off to whoever is right there for the layup.
Chief, playing with Kentucky Ambition, I mentioned it earlier, you had 19 points against one of the top teams in all of Made Hoops, and, that's when a lot of people really seen, look, this Chief kid is different. You've always had the crazy mentality, and like I said, now we're able to see more and more of your skill set. Kind of tell me how you've been playing recently at these team camps and how you've been enjoying it. You guys were at WKU and then St. X. Tell us about your all success and how you've been playing as an individual.
I mean, our team success has been really good. We're kind of bringing back the same team from last year, so our chemistry is pretty good. Individually, I played pretty good all 3 games. Guarded 94 feet, got to the rim, shot the ball really well. Got my teammates involved, brought energy, talking defense. Yeah.
Did you catch that, Otis? Let me say that again.
No,
You lose Brent. I think I had my mic muted. That's on me, man. Brandon Heath has been a guy who's making a recovery. He is coming back, recently 22 points and 5 assists, I think, in under 20 minutes. He is back, man. And, he might not be 100% yet. I know maybe there's some minute restrictions, maybe things like that. But, I'm sure he'll be back for Lexington Catholic. And I know you're definitely excited to have him back for Butler, but even more excited to have him back with Kentucky Ambition. Tell us, some people might not know who Brandon Heath is, but a lot of us know he's one of the top guards in the state of Kentucky. He's an instant playmaker. He's a great all-around guy. How exciting has it been to see Brandon get more and more healthy and now kind of getting to the point where he can start playing contact, 5v5, playing against teams? How excited are you?
I'm very excited. Before I talk about Brandon, I left off one guy, our energy guy on Kentucky Ambition, Jaron Saulsberry. So I forgot. That was who I was missing. I knew I was missing one. That's who I was missing, Jayon. Don't want to go without mentioning him because he brings a lot of action to the court when he steps into the game. But to Brandon, for people that don't know Brandon, to me, to whoever knows him, Brandon, outside of Jonathan Moss, is probably one of the rare point guards, real legit point guards in the state of Kentucky. You know what I mean? So just to see him back, it's crazy, especially to see him back, how fast he's came back. And it's like he's just knocking the rust off. It's just like he just sat out a few weeks or so. You know what I mean? It's almost weird.
Oh, for sure. And I know you guys are really excited to have him back. I 100% agree, man. When you talk about point guards in the state, any class, Brandon Heath has got to be one of the top names to come up and be mentioned for sure. But, we got to talk about the man. You call him Slim Shady. I call him Bryce Johnson. He's been killing it. He was on fire at the WKU team camp. I see Chief smiling. You guys were going up against Davis County, who was probably the top 2 teams there. Bryce is just going at everybody. Probably hit 3 or 4 threes in a row. He's been on fire. And I told him, I was like, Bryce, has it been the weight room? The man is toned up. The man looks strong. I'm going to ask Chief about him a little bit, but I'm going to ask you first, Coach. Talk about Bryce Johnson and how he has developed, how he's playing. And there's a confidence and swagger to him this year that there was last year, but I don't know, man. Recently, Bryce just looks like a whole new player.
Bryce is he controls what he can control. You know what I mean? To where he's waiting for his chance. Now he's getting his chance. He's showing that being patient pays off.
Yeah.
And he's slimming back down, and that's going to help him definitely improve.
For sure. And, last year, with how loaded St. X was, and they're still loaded. They're still got so much talent. But, at times, his plays, his minutes were a little limited. Now he kind of steps up, moves on up. I'm sure he'll start some games. If not, he's 6-man, go out there, kill. He's one of the best shooters in the state of Kentucky. So he's going to be on fire. I'm going to enjoy seeing him. I know Chief has to have a lot of good things to say about Bryce being his teammate, AAU and regular during the season. Chief, tell me about how it's been seeing Bryce get back into the swing of things, look like some of the best basketball he's ever played, and then kind of elaborate too and tell me about this St. X roster and some of the guys you have that return and maybe some new faces we need to watch this year.
Bryce, talking about Bryce, I think he's starting to realize that ever since we lost, our big man from last year, and Jeremiah and Bryce are like the only big man that we have. Bryce is starting to realize that he has to guard like everybody that's like taller and bigger and stronger than him. And at the WKU and Xavier camp, he did a pretty good job on every big man he had to guard. He rebounded, boxed out pretty well, made shots, contested, wide open, got to the mid range. He was looking pretty good. Some new faces, I would have to say Ben Anderson. He played extremely well against schools like Davis County. He played good at WKU and at Xavier Camp. He was making shots, playing defense, guarding guards like Jonathan Moss, who's a really good guard, who was hard to guard. When I had to guard him, he was. Speaking of Jonathan Moss, he's the real deal for sure. You could tell he's been in the gym, and when Ben was guarding him, he was moving his feet, moving his hands, he wasn't just standing straight up. He was really competing.
Well, I'm excited.
One more person, Braylon Gar. He's also starting to realize that he has to step up. He's played really good defense. He's starting to slim down, taking the weight room seriously. We're trying to get him stronger and like get him some because running on the track. We're going to start going for conditioning. And I feel like if he takes that serious and does the conditioning on his own, then I feel like Bray would be like a really, really good player. He is now, but he'll be better than what he is now.
Well, nah, for sure, Chief. You know, the roster, you lose some pieces. You lose some guys like Chance Dillingham, who you just can't replace, man. Chance is one of one, his character and the way he plays. But, you got guys who's stepping up. You and Josh Lindsay will for sure be one of the top backcourts in all the state of Kentucky. Very well can make a debate for number one, and I wouldn't be mad at that at all. But, Jonathan Moss, you mentioned him. Jonathan's a beast, man, and I love seeing you guys get to match up and go against each other. Two of my favorite guards, and you guys kind of different kind of ways you guys play, and you guys are both getting your own. That was really fun to watch. But for sure, St. X is going to be another contender. I think a lot of people will have you guys as the favorite in the 7th again, but we all know how tough that region is, and you add 2 Hall of Fame coaches and Tim Riley, Jeff Morrow. They're going to want to slow you down, play their pace. The city of Louisville, a lot of people think, man, we lose a lot of 2025s. A guy like Cam McDaniels, Chance Dillingham, Mike Jones at Butler, who I absolutely love. I know Otis might hear that, and he might be like, yeah, that's my guy. There's so many guys in Louisville who's obviously going to be graduating and moving on, but there's so much young talent, 28s, Boogie Cook, Josh Lindsay, Trey Hillerich, Jordan Mitchell, Jordan Jackson. It's in such a safe spot. I expect those guys to step up, and, the 7th region is going to be crazy this year, but you guys return a lot of really, really big-time pieces, including yourself, and I'm excited to see what you guys will have going. Now let's move over to the 6th region a little bit, Coach O. Tell me about Butler. I see the Summer League has been booming, man. I seen North Oldham and Mel had a big-time battle. I seen Manual and I think it was J-Town was going at it. You guys got all the best teams in the area playing against each other and going at it, and it looks like big-time content, man. How does Louisville Butler look, though, and how excited are you for your all's guys? Because there's a 2026 class at Louisville Butler that is stacked, man.
I'm excited for this season because, we're returning a lot of guys. Only losing maybe 2, and we got some young talent that really their names ain't out there yet, and I'm very, very excited for this season. I see us coming out to 6. I know I said that last year. Cam McDaniels had something to say about that. But I see us coming out to 6. I just don't see nobody that can stop us.
Yeah, no,
and I say it with confidence.
I know you do, Coach. Last year was a big-time season, too. Obviously you wanted to punch that ticket to Rupp, but if you say last year wasn't a success in the Butler community, man, I mean, you're tripping. The year you guys had, all season was great. You guys had a great time year. You lose some 2025 guys, it's going to hurt. I mentioned Mike Jones, man. That was my guy. I loved watching him play. But, there's a lot of other faces. I still will say to this day, Santana Anderson is one of the most entertaining players in the state of Kentucky. Say he'll come off the bench one night. Well, he'll give you 10 pretty quick, and he'll break somebody while doing it. So I love watching your guys and what you all have. Kind of talk about the staff, though, man. You guys got a big-time staff over there led by yourself and Coach Kevin Geary. Kevin was the Kentucky kind of state coach of the year to a lot of people. He was my coach of the year. He had a big-time season. Kind of the jump you guys made, win-loss record-wise was big time. Kind of tell me about how you and Coach Geary feel and some of the other members on the staff going into this season.
No, shout out to Coach Gary. He's the first one that gave me the opportunity to come into high school make the transition from AAU to high school, Bell. Shout out to Coach Gary. We got a solid staff. We got Todd Rocky. He's coached high school ball like 30 years. We got Walter Hickman. He's another AAU guy that's on the staff too. And we got young Nick. I don't know, Nick?
I don't think I do.
You got to meet Nick, man. Nick is the true players coach. He's always in the gym with the kids. He's opening, working them out, to where we got a nice staff, and it really came together. It showed last year. We really came together and really changed the whole standard of the program.
Yeah. No, for sure. And, last year was kind of, I feel like, really setting the tone. And now, following years, I only expect it to get a lot stronger. You talk about your guys' young group. You've kept me updated with them a little bit. I know they've made some noises in, tournaments. And, I think the Butler's in a lot of safe hands is what I'm trying to get across here. And, you guys will lose some pieces again this year. But, man, this season's about to be big time. I'm excited to see it in the 6th region. Chief, I want to go back to you a little bit, man. Coaches has kind of started contacting you, showing you some interest. First offer is going to be soon to come for sure, Chief. How have you kind of enjoyed that? And, for college coaches who tune in, because I know there was multiple who watched the show, and I know some who were watching you recently, what does Chief Cameron want in a school at the next level? What's something you want? Is it, a reality? Is it the way you relate and the way you can have a bond with the coach? Is it the fan base? What's some things that you're looking at when you make that decision, whether if it's 2-3 months from now or whether it's almost a year from maybe the end of the season? What does Chief Cameron look at?
I feel like I would look at like what school like has first best education for me, like what fits for me, and a coach not just making me come like recruiting me, wanting me over there and not let me play my game, like express how I really play and try to change my game up and like how he wants me to play. And but my recruiting process, I will like talk with the guy and my family about like what they think, and what God thinks is best for me to go. And yeah.
Well, it's heating up, Chief. And, like I said, whether if it's decision is 2 months from now, whether if it's a half a year from now, I know it's going to be the best thing possible. Like I said, Chief Cameron, he's coming onto the block to a lot of people recently because I think he's really now able to show his true game and who he is as a player. And, when you play at Made Hoops in the live period, a lot of coaches are there. Coach, you guys made that decision to play for the Made Hoops and play on their circuit. I'd say you've enjoyed it so far pretty well, and I say you like it. Kind of tell me how that transition has been on playing on that circuit, and, how are you enjoying it?
Oh, I'm definitely enjoying it because everything that they said before we started playing on the circuit is true.
Yeah.
Like they said, we're going to get big time matchups. We done seen Bradley Beal, Mac Irvins. We done seen the big time matchups. Team New England. They said in the live period we'll be on the main court. The first game, I think it was like 25 plus Division I coaches watching not just my 17U team that I coach, but my son's 17U team. So they're keeping their words, and we're performing. And I'm looking forward to July and the future we're made of.
For sure, Coach. It's been electric. It's been on fire. I'm going to ask Chief the same question. Chief, how do you enjoy, playing on this circuit and playing on this level? And, if there's one thing about Made Hoops, man, they're so good at promoting guards. They promote all sizes, but, Josh Powell for NY Jayhawks, Antonio Wade, another Kentucky homegrown kid, and, yourself, Chief, how have you enjoyed not only just getting more publicity and getting to promote yourself on social media, but play in front of these coaches and play on a higher level? When you play against this competition, it's only going to up your game and the way you play. How have you enjoyed being on the Made Hoop circuit, man?
I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. Like at first, before I even thought about who I was going to play with for AAU season, it was either between 502 Elite, 3SSB team, or Kentucky and Michigan. And first, I was like leaning towards God, talking to him, like, give me the right direction to see like who I want to play, like what's the best choice for me. And I also talked to Coach O, Travis Graff, my high school coaches, about like what they think is best for me. And like I rock with Ambition. And like very first game, I can't remember who we played, but very first game it was a lot of college coaches there. And ever since, like like we've been getting good bump. We played the Team New England team. That was a really good team. They gave us, like they really like that. Yeah.
Chief, man, I've really loved having you on here tonight, man. I really wanted to get you on here and talk to you. We got to talk to Josh. I think it was last episode, and now we're getting to talk to Chief. So I know Coach Klein is smiling some right now, really seeing his guys at St. X get on the show. I know Coach McKim killed it this week, man, coaching at WKU camp. I know, man, I love that staff, man. I know they were doing their job up there. Chief, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Leave us off with something, to the St. X fans and all the people tuning in from that way.
Go St. X by 90. Even though we didn't have a good result last year, last year I don't really know what to say about last year. Things happen, but we got another chance. Punch your tickets are up.
Chief, man, thanks again for coming on the show tonight, dude. I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. And now we get to let the boy, Coach O, talk. Coach, I've appreciated having you on again, man. This might be episode number 5, which it's either this guy or Ty Price is the most appeared Joe Show guest ever. And I'm glad. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, Coach. Nah, but for real, tune us off, leave us off with something. I know the Kentucky Ambition fans are tuning in, and even the Butler fans are tuning in because the Bears fan base is crazy. Leave us off with something, Coach.
And shout out to the Butler Bears, both Kentucky Ambition 17U team, the 16U team. I say it with a smile on my face. We're the number 1 independent AAU team in the state.
Yeah.
We've been that for years. The record shows, numbers don't lie. Hey, put some respect on every Ambition player's name because them guys are some guys. Check them out this year if you don't believe. Shout out to Coach Trey, Coach Julio Anthony, Coach David, hey, Coach Eddie, Coach BJ, Coach Pat, everybody that supports all the parents of the Ambition kids, because without the parents, we wouldn't be where we are. You know what I mean? So, and keep an eye out for them Butler Bears. We coming again this year. Like,
nah, I believe you, Coach.
We coming again this year. Like, it's time to put some respect on Butler's name and Kentucky Ambition's name. Like,
hey, facts, Coach. Hey, I had to let him talk his talk, man. Coach O knows what it is. But, Coach, man, once again, I appreciate having you on again, man. I need to make it up to Butler. I know I'll see you soon, with you guys' summer ball. But, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk again soon.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Of course. See you, Coach O. That was Coach Otis of Kentucky Ambition, made hoop circuit, and then the assistant coach at Butler Bears. That might cement himself as the most appeared Joe Show guest. Coach O is the man, bro. I love having him on. But let's kind of get back here closer to home a little bit. Let's welcome on our boy, Linkin Lockhart, South Warren graduate, not too far from here. I said it before the show started. If there's somebody who has embodied working up and going from level to level to level, Linkin Lockhart is one of those guys you got to talk about. Last episode, we were joined by Tay Smith, who recently signed to go to North Dakota State University. He's another guy like that who killed in Bowling Green, moved up and continues to move up. Linkin Lockhart is just the same way. Link, what's up, man? Welcome on to the show. How you doing, bro?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. I know we kind of been trying to work out the schedule, get everything going, but I'm glad we were finally able to make it work. But no, I can't start this show without talking about this guy, Linkin Lockhart, in Brusha last year, man. You guys made a deep run. There was some up and down, some hiccups during the regular season, but when it came to postseason play, you guys made a little bit of a run, and you were on fire those last 8 or 9 games. Might have been more. It was 20 points, 25, 27 consistently. What got into you, man, in that later part of the season? And, kind of tell us about that run and what you guys did at Brusha.
Well, first of all, I just want to give all thanks to God because, without him, none of this would be possible. But, I just stick to my work ethic, man. I had some ups and downs in the beginning of the season. So, actually, like you mentioned in the beginning, so I did have 30 points our very first game of the season. And then I kind of had a sickness that kind of took me a little too long to get back from. But, I was still working out, trying to bounce back. But really towards the end, my work ethic really is what was showing, and that's why I was able to perform the way I was. I was driving down to Butler County to work out with Coach Greg, and I was also working out with Ty. So I was seeing them like around every Sunday, and I was just sticking to the plan, sticking to my work, and I think that's what really played out for me in the end.
Nah, for sure. You've been working out with Greg for a while now. He's helped you a lot. Greg's a monster, man. When it comes to training, dude's a beast. And, I knew you guys were putting in a lot of work. He'd tell me. We put out a few tweets on the year, and I was like, Greg, Lincoln, how's he been playing? He's like, killing it, man. He'd send me the stats. We'd put it up. But, it was a big-time season there, man. I kind of talk about it a lot, but I love to value and pay my respects to somebody who just keeps working and moving up. Graduate from South Warren, go to the JUCO, go to Shawnee, I believe, and you kill there, man, and then you get to go to Brusha, and now you're killing there again. How has it been kind of moving up from levels? Going to JUCO, kind of run me back to maybe that first year at JUCO. How was it at Shawnee State? And, kind of how did you kind of get adjusted to it, man?
Well, so really, so I didn't start off at Shawnee. I
Okay.
started off at Brescia. So my freshman
Okay.
year at Brescia, I mean, my South Warren year didn't end the way I wanted it to. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows that. I mean, it's really no secret, but I mean, I still managed to get my scholarship. I earned a spot, and I just stuck to my work ethic my freshman year. I was on the JV team for most of the year, but I mean, I got brought up to several varsity games, had some big performances.
Uh-huh.
And then really those big performances is what drove me to make the decision to go to Shawnee.
Yeah,
And Shawnee was a great experience. I mean, I started off there really hot. I did really well first like 8 or 9 games. And I also had an injury I was dealing with, so that kind of made me not play as well as I would have liked. But I mean, yeah, man. I mean, going back to Brescia was honestly the best decision I could have made. We just hired Coach Matt Karn. I mean, he was there for my signing. That's my guy. Coach Trace Young also is doing really well for us. I mean, he's always just like you mentioned about Coach Otis earlier. I mean, Trace Young, he's a player's coach. He's always in the
yeah,
gym, real positive guy. Love being around him. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the next season. We also might have another coach joining us that I'm kind of familiar with, a high school coach that has a lot of accolades, done a lot of stuff. So, still waiting for the update on that. But
for
yeah, I'm
sure.
looking forward to our final season
For
or to
sure.
my
We got
final
to
season.
got to stay tuned, bro. And like, this last season, you got a lot of expectations. You guys lose a few pieces, a few guys transfer on, a lot of people move up. You guys got some new faces though. And, similar to you going to Brush out of high school, you guys have 2 or 3, maybe more than that. I know Cole Phillips, Mercer Rogers, and Wyatt Gravel. That's 3 for sure high school guys moving in. Kind of tell us about those guys. If you got to see them play a little bit, and how are those 3 guys going to impact and help Brusha next season? Will they be instant impact guys?
Oh, so I haven't really seen Cole or Wyatt play in
Mhm.
person, but I mean I've seen their film. I've heard great things about them. I
Yeah.
think they'll be great guys. And I mean they're young too. They'll have plenty of years to develop. They'll learn a lot. They'll grow. I mean I'm not doubting their potential at all. Now Mercer I've actually been in the gym with several
Yeah.
times. He's a high IQ point
Yeah.
guard. I think I think he'll do really well only because I'm familiar with him more. I'm not so familiar with Cole and
Mhm.
Wyatt, but I mean I've seen Cole play too and I think he's a great player and I'm really looking forward to getting in the gym with him. Wyatt too. I'm not too familiar with those guys, but Mercer, like I said, I've been in the gym with him countless times and looking forward to seeing how the season plays out for all 3 of them.
Well, we got to talk about Matty Ice, man. We got to talk about Coach Matt Karn, man. He's a beast. He's a Joe Show appearance guest. He killed it on here. He was fun to talk to, but he really shocked a lot of people. When you come in and take those interim head coach jobs, sometimes you really don't know your future, man. There's no guarantee you'll be there next year. You really have to work your ass off and grind and impress the guys around you. And that's what he did, man. And the postseason run really helped that, really upped his case. And I'm excited for him as his first full year as the head coach. Last year being the intern, now, man, it's his job. Kind of tell us about Coach Matt Karn and how you enjoy having him around. He's another former JUCO D1 player who killed. He had some kind of ups and downs. And he's just a really, really cool guy. Tell us about Coach Matt Karn from a player's perspective. How is he in the gym? How is he outside of basketball? Tell us all about Coach Matt, because I know
I
he's watching.
mean, there is nobody more fit for the job than Coach Matt. I mean, I had been saying it all year. Whenever I found out he was coming to be our coach, man, I mean, I was really excited, looking forward to it. But I mean, there's literally just no one more fit for the job. I mean, he's extremely passionate.
Mhm.
Practices are extremely competitive, and even whenever we get a big win, we're on the bus ride coming back home. I mean, he is hilarious. He is truly one
Yeah.
of the funniest guys I've ever met, and he's really just a joy to be around in the gym, or if you just see him walking around campus. I mean, I'm never around Matt, and I'd like not enjoying my time. I mean, Matt's just a great guy to be around, and he's perfect for the job. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that we're gonna make big things happen this year, and we're looking to make an even deeper run and hopefully go to the national tournament.
For sure, Link. You guys bring in more pieces too as well. I want you to hit about some of the other roster changes, some of the guys that's coming back to the team. I know a guy like Damon Garcia, he moves on, he's going to the next level, but there's a lot of guys who still return to the team. Kind of tell me who's going to be those guys for Brusha next year along yourself.
I mean, okay, so this has just been recently. I've just been recently informed of this, but Michael Caswell is
Okay.
returning to Brescia. He
Okay.
was one of our point guards. He started and came off the bench like half and half most of the season. But I mean, Michael Caswell. I mean, he has Division 1 athleticism, a true pass first point guard. He makes big plays, and when he wants to get a bucket, he can do it at any time. Also, just to name another guy, we signed Izzy. He's like a 6'9", 6'10" transfer. He
Okay.
actually played for Coach Sparks at Shawnee. Not
Really?
when I was there. It was before I was there. I'm not so sure what year it
Yeah.
was, but he came in on a visit. I mean, man, he was blocking shots, dunking. He was dunking the ball. He was energetic, and he could even shoot the ball a little bit. So just to name two or three guys. I mean, also we're returning. I mean, honestly, I think everybody's going to have a huge impact. And I think a lot of our guys are going to grow. We got our Spanish guys, just to name one, Xavi Torrado.
Okay.
He's from Spain. I mean, okay, so I mean, if you look at his stats, I mean, you wouldn't think he was doing that much, but I mean, Xavi is a dog. I mean, he
Yeah.
doesn't back down from nobody. I mean, he shuts down other teams' best players. That's the type of stuff that doesn't pop up on the stat sheet, but I mean,
Yeah. It goes a
he's
long
high
way.
IQ as well. Real fun to play with.
Well, I think that just shows, man, Matt Carn, this guy's recruiting everywhere. Matt, I know he loves recruiting. I got to talk to him at the state tournament a little bit. You guys bring in Braxton Highball, formerly at Bowling Green, went to Edmonson County, just clicked in my mind again. He's going to be an ultimate glue guy. I think he can do a little bit of everything. The kid is a beast, man. I know you guys will go at it and practice a little bit. Two guards just going against each other every day. I'm excited to hear, Braxton Highball versus Link, two Bowling Green guys, two of my good friends hooping. And I'm excited to see you guys on the floor together. This Brusha team has a lot of potential to be really good, man. And I'm really excited for it. But, there's a lot of kids out there in the state that hold Brusha offers. For instance, a good friend of mine, Jagger Martis, just recently offered by him. Kid's a stud. I know you've probably been able to be around him a little bit.
He came to a workout at Brescia, and I was extremely impressed. He is a dog. He definitely got a lot of potential.
For sure. No, and Jagger, had a really good WKU team camp these last few days. But you mentioned being around campus a little bit, Link. And, you've been here. You mentioned to me more than just once. Your first tenure was here. So there's not many people out there that know the University of Brusha like Linkin Lockhart. For the kids out there that hold a offer from Brusha, kind of give that recruiting pitch. What makes Brusha special? What do you like about it? And how have you ultimately enjoyed your time here? And you haven't even really fully experienced that senior year yet. So kind of tell me about it.
I mean, there is simply for a high school kid that has offer from Brescia, I mean, there's really just no better place to be, especially with our new coaching staff and just the environment and the culture at Brescia. I mean, everybody knows everybody. You're going to get close with everybody. You're going to be extremely close to your professors, and that benefits kids, I feel like, in numerous ways. Like if you go to a bigger university, you're not going to build that relationship with your professors or your advisors as much as you'd like. But I mean, at Brescia, I mean, it's a smaller school. Everybody supports everybody. I mean, all the guys from different sports and all the girls from different sports, they're coming to each other's games. Everyone's real supportive. I mean, you'll make a lot of friends, and there's a lot of on-campus activities too. We're always doing stuff on campus. I mean, even if it's just like little stuff, like we have bingo in the quad, or we'll have like Vegas night, like we'll be playing cards in the quad. I mean, there's just so many things to do at Brescia, and the gym is open 24/7. So if you're about to work and you really are trying to improve your game, I mean, nobody's stopping you from going to the gym. Now there's other teams that have the gym at times, but I mean that gym's open 24/7.
No, for sure. For sure, man. And, shout out Brandon Phillips, Cole Phillips' dad, tuning into the show saying, go Bearcats. I'm excited for the team, man. There's a lot of Kentucky around it. So I'm excited for it, But Link, I know Coach Sparks is tuning in. You talked about him a little bit. Go show some love to Coach Sparks. I got to meet Coach Sparks for the first time last year, man. I'm sure he was a big motivator, big piece in your journey. Dude, the man is an absolute savage. The dude is a beast. He's dope. He coaches, man. The way he coaches, man, he could coach at any level. I have zero doubt about that. He could coach at any level. Shawnee's an interesting place. It's kind of in a way in the middle of nowhere. You go through
100%
Metropolis
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you pass probably 10 Superman statues to Metropolis on your way there. But nah, Shawnee's a fireplace. Kind of talk about Coach Sparks a little bit.
Man, Coach Sparks is my guy. I mean, he brought me in. I mean, I love the culture at Shawnee. And like you said earlier, I mean, he could really coach at every level. I mean, playing for Coach Sparks is not for the weak. I mean, he challenged me mentally and physically every day. And I mean, even though the season didn't end necessarily how we would have wanted as a team or for me individually, I feel like I learned so many things from that JUCO experience, man, that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And I think, honestly, having that huge setback is what allowed me to improve even more coming back from my junior year. So, and then I'm looking to build on that for my senior year as well. But yeah, Coach Sparks, I mean, real energetic. He's hilarious too. Him and Coach Matt are very similar. I feel like we have very similar play styles. But I mean, Coach Matt, of course, he also played for Coach Sparks, so kind of makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I still have great relationships with all my guys from Shawnee, and I still obviously have a great relationship with Coach Sparks as well.
Nah, for sure, Lincoln. And, Coach Starks, man, he's a G. He sent me some merch. The Shawnee logo, the merch is fire. He's just a great guy, man. And, hey, the week is not for Shawnee. I know Shawnee's heavily recruited in Kentucky. Just picked up Joe Hurt from Bowling Green. Hey,
yeah.
Coach will be sitting over there in the corner in a chair and just killing the guys while they're on the floor. And then they'll be killing each other, man. It's physical, but I love that level at JUCO. And like you said, it's not for the weak. But, Link, you talked about, kind of went through that year. You just said South Warren didn't really end how you wanted it to. And then you kind of went to Brusha. You battled some things there. You have some injuries in your career. A lot of kids can't handle that, man. And it's not for the weak. And, it's all about up here. It's all about the mentality and how you work on things. How have you kind of stayed positive and stayed moving forward despite having so many hiccups and maybe injuries and bumps during your career? Because a lot of kids can have an injury year one, come back home. How have you kind of handled that?
Yeah, so I mean, I just leave it all up to God. I know that basketball is meant for me. I have a lot of passion for this game. And so Coach Greg, he says to me a lot. Obviously this doesn't really talk about the injury part of it,
Yeah.
but even if I have 50 points on one game or if I have 0 points, regardless of what happens, I'm going to go to the gym the next day. I'm still going to go to the weight room. I'm going to get all my work in. Because at the end of the day, I feel like there's always something positive that comes out of everything.
Yeah.
Like if I have 0 points in a game, I promise you, in 24 hours, I'm not thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still going to the gym the next day because I know that at the end of the day, the hard work is what will pay off in the end. And I still have huge goals. I still plan on going to play professionally, hopefully overseas. Because I feel like nothing that really happens now. Everything. There's just something positive that comes out of everything.
Yeah.
So anything bad that happens to me, yeah, it might be unfortunate. There'll be bad days, but that's inevitable with anything you do.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's going to be adversity. So, I just try to see the positive side in things, and I just keep my head down and stay working because, really, this is what I love to do.
Nah, facts, man. And I think you hit on that perfectly, Link. Got to show some love and some shout out to your parents, your family. I know Mandy just leave the comment. She's tuning in saying she's so proud of you. And I know the man, Salem is tuning into the show too. Shout out Salem, bro. I know you're hearing this right now. Sponsor of the show. That's my guy. But show some love to the family because, Jaron talks about it with his dad. Chief has a very good support staff around him. Even Coach Otis, I know his family's at the games all the time. It don't matter what level you're at, man. You're never too good for your family. You're never too good for their support. Kind of tell me about that family support you've had around you, and I won't hold you too much longer after that, Link.
I'm not gonna lie, you can hold me as long as you want. I'm enjoying being on the show, but yeah, I'll start off with my dad. My dad's been, so I actually played baseball growing up. I wasn't always a basketball player, and my dad was always my coach.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, he was always extremely hard on me. He still is extremely hard on me, but I know he just wants the best for me. We'll butt heads all the time, but at the end of the day, I know that he just wants the best for me, and he's been extremely supportive of my goals. I could go on and on list of things to say what my dad has done for me for my entire athletic career, whether that be high school baseball, travel baseball, AAU basketball, whenever I decided to quit baseball and take on basketball. He's just been there every step of the way, and he's never really given up on me. Even though a lot of things have been pretty hard, we've had some rough years, he's been with me through the whole time. And then my mom, of course, it don't matter how I perform. She's always going to be like, oh, I think you did great no matter what. She's always been an extremely positive influence on my life. I simply just wouldn't be where I am without both of them. And like I said, my mom was driving to so was my dad, but driving 3.5 hours of them Shawnee games towards the end of the year whenever I was struggling a lot. No matter what, they always show up. They're always there, and they're always extremely supportive. So, I'm extremely grateful for that.
Facts, man. You can't beat family. I was kind of looking at your stats a little bit, Lincoln, and kind of going on a deeper dive, man, because you guys at Brusha, one thing good about Brusha are they always putting you guys on the map. They're always putting you guys against good talent. I think it's 4 or 5 times a year, basically. I know the last 2 years it's been. You guys are playing D1, 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 D1. I think it was 2 years ago against DKU. You had 19 points on 70% shooting. Killed it, man. Linkin Lockhart was cold that game. But, even this past year, you guys played 4 games on the road, D1 level. And I think it was Austin P was one of the games. Evansville, I
Mhm.
know you guys played Bellarmine, and you were scoring consistently, getting your buckets in, rebounding the ball well. How do you kind of enjoy playing up against that talent, playing at the D1 level? And is that something too that you kind of mentioned? You mentioned all the good positive things about Brussia is the scheduling. They're going to put you in those
Oh,
positions to
100%.
improve. Yeah, so kind of tell me about playing up against those big games, how you've enjoyed playing in the D1 atmosphere and battling against those guys because you're holding your own, you're playing your game, you're killing out there too,
Yeah.
and how fun it is to be there. But more importantly, is that something else that should catch a kid's eyes? Look, we might be in AI level, but we're playing 4 or 5 D1 teams a year at their place, putting us out there in exposure wise. Tell me about that a little bit.
I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that's the most fun games of the entire year. I mean, obviously the conference games when there's home games, it's packed, it
Yeah,
gets really crazy. But I
yeah,
mean, those D1 games, I mean, you're in the,
yeah.
I mean, we're not used to it. I mean, we're a
No,
small school, we're an AI school. I mean, you're in the bright lights. I mean, I just enjoy every second. I mean, this past year I struggled a little bit more against the Division 1 teams than I would have liked. But like you said, my freshman year, I had the 19-point game against EKU. But I believe I can compete with anybody on any
yeah,
given night. So I mean, it really doesn't matter who we play. I don't care if I go to the YMCA tomorrow to play against people that haven't touched the basketball in 10 years, or if
yeah,
I'm going to play at a G League tryout the next day. I don't care who I play. I believe that I can 100% compete with anybody on any given night. So, and especially when it's in the brighter lights, that just makes it
yeah,
more fun.
yeah.
I mean, then sometimes I remember specifically the first type of Division 1 minutes I ever got was against Middle Tennessee University,
Mhm.
and they had a kids' night that night. I mean, that place was packed.
Yeah,
Every elementary school in the that entire area, I mean, that place was packed. Kids were going crazy. I mean, it's nice to play in front of like a sold out crowd in a big
yeah.
arena. I mean, you get a
Oh,
lot of
for sure.
experience from it. I mean, and obviously, I mean, they're really tough games. I mean, you're playing against some guys.
Yeah.
So, but I
No,
mean, I
for
enjoy it, of
sure.
course.
No, it's killer, man. And like you say, performing at that level too. It's not just going there, being on the bench, getting minutes, playing, competing against those guys, man. It's got to be a surreal other world feeling. But Link, we talked about a lot of things, going from that. We talked about the boy Greg. I know Greg's tuning in, kind of talked about your journey a little bit. And coming into this season with Brush, I expect it to be a big year. You guys lost a few pieces, but replaced them with, some up and coming freshmen, some guys decided that, hey, I want to run it back one more year. And you coming back for your senior year, you're going to be one of those names to watch all over NAI hoops. I know you're going to be a big time. How are you handling it though, man? Because going into that senior season can be tough. We always talk about high school, but when you're an athlete at the next level, it's got to be a little sentimental knowing, hey, man, this is the last year. This is the
Yeah.
last run to make. Sure, like you said, you have those plans, play next level, go overseas, kill. But, this is your last college basketball season. How is the workouts, any pre-workouts? How's the gym been going into this season? How's the team feel, and how are you handling it kind of mentally?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily treating my senior year any differently than I treat any other year. I mean, I'm in the gym every day. I touch the basketball every day. So no matter what, I mean, whenever we have big games or big moments, when that first game comes around, I mean, it's no different than what I do every day. I mean, I really feel like I'm built for these kind of moments and I'm really enjoying it. But to get with the workout, so my summer schedule is actually it's a lot. So I mean, I
Yeah.
still have a job. So my degree is in pharmacy. So
Okay.
I'm studying pharmacy. So I've been fortunate enough. I hit up one of my old high school assistant coaches, Coach Kinman. Shout out Coach Kinman. He's been letting me into South Warren 6:30, 6:45 in the morning every single
Okay.
morning during the week. So I'm getting an hour 15, hour and a half workout in right before my shift for the pharmacy. That's my on the court workout. And then after work, I'm immediately going to the weight room. I actually
Yeah.
just left the weight room before I came to get on this show. So
Okay.
I'm pretty steady on my schedule for that. I mean, obviously there's some rest days from the weight room, but I mean, yeah, that's my schedule. I mean, I'm getting up if it's a weekday, I'm up early mornings, getting my shots up, getting my ball handling, some good workouts in, and then I'm obviously the thing I want to improve the most about my game is just like my strength. So I've been working
Yeah.
on my body a lot in the weight room, getting my protein goals in. So yeah, I mean that's really what my off-season schedule looks like for the entirety until I get back to Brescia in August.
For sure. Link, I've really appreciated having you on the show tonight, man, and you being able to take some time. I've held you longer than what I kind of said, 10, 15 minutes, but I really
It's all
appreciate having
good.
you on. You actually, I got to mention this because at the end of the day, we always, we're more of a Kentucky high school basketball podcast. We have high major guys, college guys, D1 guys, NAI coaches, everything. We got to have everything on here. But, at the end of the day, usually season-wise, we're more, the high school kids. I know you've got to work out with some. For instance, I think we mentioned Jonathan Moss earlier. You've got to be around Jay Moss a little bit. Do you ever keep up with a little bit of high school basketball anymore in the state of Kentucky, man? And if so, who's some of the guys that you like?
I mean, I probably don't keep up with it as much as I should. I mean, I don't know. I mean, his might sound a little selfish, but I'm always kind of trying to focus on the team that I currently play for
Yeah.
and trying to build a culture at the school I'm currently at. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. But I mean, I have been in the gym with Jonathan Moss several times. I mean, he is a dog. I mean,
Yeah.
has he's extremely focused in the workouts. I mean, pays huge attention to detail. So I mean, he would for sure be a name on the list. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm familiar with him, but unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with a bunch of the local high school guys nowadays. I mean, I kind of just stopped paying attention to it. I mean, now that you mention it, though, I'll probably get into it more for this year. So if you ever decide to have me on again, I'll have more things to say about some of the high school guys in the local area. But I could say something about the guy that just committed to Shawnee from Bowling Green. I mean, I wish him the best. I mean, I've heard that he's a great shooter, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs up at Shawnee.
No, for sure. Joe Hurt is a beast, man. He's a more quiet, laid-back kid, so he might kind of have to open up a little bit. He's kind of got to open up a little bit for up there.
Sparks will get that out of him for sure.
Oh, for sure. But no, he's going to have a good time up there. I know you kind of talking about Shawnee. Definitely kind of makes him feel a little better about everything, hearing it from another guy, not just from Bowling Green, but, who played there. So I think that'll be big time. But, for sure. Y'all have to catch a summer ball game with me. It's about to get busy, dude. I
would love to.
Tomorrow we'll go to Metcalf. They got some big games. New look Caverna. I can't say too much because we're on air right now. Caverna is going to be good. They got a lot of things kind of cooked up. But, no, that's going to be a fire event. But, Link, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. I know I've kind of been bouncing some dates around. Same to Jaden Lawrence. I know Jaden was supposed to come on tonight as well. So sorry about some of the guests I'm trying to get on. Only got so many days, but I knew tonight we'd have to do a show, and I had to get you on, Link. But I appreciate talking to you, man, making some time.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
35 minutes, of course, dude. But I want you to leave us off with something. I know your family's tuning in. Your coaches are tuning in, former coaches. Greg, guys you work out. Just leave us off with something and, leave us off for the show, man. Leave us off with something.
The first thing I'm going to say is if you're in the 4th region area, like you said at the beginning of the show, go to Pelican Snowball to get you a snowball. It's the best treat in town.
Facts.
I mean, we're a good, loving family. We're looking forward to serving you. And then for people in the local area of Owensboro or just nearby in Kentucky, 100% you've got to come to a Brusha game. Next year is going to be really exciting. We're looking to bring our first banner to the school, so that'll be a lot of fun. As soon as I get to campus, we're heading straight to work. So,
well, I'm excited to see it, man. We got to plug Pelicans, the guys. Thank you guys again for sponsoring the show. But Link, I've appreciated having you on, man. I'm excited to talk to you again and see you soon, bro. Keep up the work and keep killing it, man. You kind of got a work ethic that's unteachable. That's what I really wanted to talk about on here too. But like again, I said, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Of course. We'll talk again soon, bro. That was Linkin Lockhart of Brusha joining the show to talk all things Brusha, his development, his work, what got him into the scene. He talked about baseball a little bit. Coach Lockhart was coaching baseball. But for sure. Make sure to check out Pelican Snowballs and all of our amazing sponsors who make the show possible. Looking to add some more. I would love to sponsor your business and put you guys out there on the platform. But once again, thank you to Jaron Saulsberry, Chief Cameron, Coach O, the man in Linkin Lockhart for making today's show special and tuning in. I really appreciate it. And just thank you so much for all you guys do as fans and supporting the show. Where I'll be, WKU team camp was electric. I enjoyed it. A guy, Taylor, went up to Xavier team camp with next up. He killed it. He enjoyed it. He said it was a good event. And then me and Hayden spent the last day, Hayden Shelton, at WKU team camp. Enjoyed the last 3 days, man. It was killer. It was fun. I'm usually not too excited to wake up at 7 a.m. and head to the gym, but it was big time. I wanted to be in the gym and go to Western every day. It was great. Excited for the upcoming schedule, though. Let's talk about it, though. Tomorrow we have Metcalf County. That's Edmonton. It's only about an hour drive for me. I'm excited to go there, watch some of the teams playing there. It's more kind of local teams, Barron County, Glasgow. Jarek Martin will be playing for Glasgow. Really excited to see him. And then Caverna will be in that event. There are going to be some new faces for Caverna, some things a little different, but I'm excited to see my guy Jalen Crane, Jason Graves, the Martin twins, Cortavian Maxey, and the other guys that'll be there as well. But I'm really excited to see them play. And Caverna's going to be a lot of fun this year. So that's just a team I wanted to hit on. June 10th is the Fairdale Summer League. I know Grayson County's in it. I know Spencer County, Meade County, Fairdale. I'll talk to Coach Stennett a little more. But that's Tuesday in Louisville, Fairdale. If you like high school basketball, man, and you want to see the Division I talents, the elite players, go to that event. It's going to be big time. It's going to be loaded. We've all been to King of the Bluegrass. Fairdale puts on elite events, and they do it great. June 13th, my boy Tavon Johnson, the man, is doing a Central Hardin shootout. He's doing an event at Central Hardin where we'll be having summer ball basketball games. He's asked me to come up and kind of report, scout, put out content on the event. Thank you, Coach T, for trusting me to do that. I'm really excited for it. I know Film by Darius will be there doing some mixtapes, videos, edits, things like that. There's a hospitality room. That's an easy way to get me in. But I'm really excited for that. And then June 20th through the 22nd is the Lex Catholic live period. It's always been known as Collins, where it's a live period. Any coach in the country can show up. All the best teams are playing. All the best teams all over the city. I'm really excited for that. That's going to be killer. I think everybody who's a Kentucky high school fan or even from Kentucky will be interested in that because you get to see the best top talent. You get to see all the best faces in around Kentucky, media, photographers, videographers, podcasters, everybody who does things in Kentucky will be there. Coaches will be there. Hopefully Mark Pope makes another appearance. I know the fans love seeing him. Coach Pat Kelsey, the man, Coach Hank Plona, Coach Scotty Davenport, Coach Maddox, all the D1 coaches, Coach A.W. Hamilton make an appearance there. They come watch guys, and coaches from all level go. So, but no, I'm really excited for the events coming up. I really appreciate all you guys tuning into the show and watching. We'll tune in here with another show soon. And if we're not able to have one maybe in the next week, we'll tune in and we'll bang, fill up episodes in a week. Nothing wrong with doing 2 or 3 shows in a week, man. But no, I really appreciate everybody tuning into the show and making today's thing possible. Shout out to our sponsors for always making it possible and providing for us and making things easier. If you'd like to sponsor, we'd love to have you, man. We'd love to promote your business. But today we had Jaron Saulsberry, Chief Cameron, Linkin Lockhart, and most definitely Coach O. Let's talk Kentucky high school basketball hoops. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave a like, subscribe, follow us on social media, share, and tune in